Welcome back to another episode of the Modern Woodcarver podcast. I'm your host, Michael, and today I'm joined by the one and only Sara Barraclough. Am I saying that right?
You're in the ballpark. You got the B.
The B, the Barclaw, I believe it is, maybe?
Closer. Barraclough. I mean, if you want to get nitty gritty, it's
Barraclough.
Barraclough. Yeah.
Barraclough. Okay. Yeah, I mean, your work has been a presence throughout the woodcarving community for such a long time. You're an author, you post videos, you've been on other channels sharing your story and your work. And you're very well liked in the wood carving community. Your name comes up quite a bit, um,
Thank you.
and we'll get into that later. So I'm happy to have you here on today's episode. We've been experiencing a little technical difficulties, but
A
we got
little.
past it,
It's
and here we
okay.
are. Yeah. So welcome to the show. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
coming on. So to start it off, I don't know about your carving history, so I'm interested to learn how you got started in carving.
Yeah, it's carving is definitely a positive that came from a negative. Um,
Okay.
so I was a new mom. My daughter was like 15 months old or so. And so this was like 2017 and um life was just not I was not in a good place, like, my marriage was not good, it was pretty
Mm,
tumultuous, and, um, so I'm kind of, like, navigating mom life, like, I trying to figure that out, and then really starting to navigate even more as a single mom. There was separation, and I think a huge part of who I am is that through my whole life, as humans, we have a lot of positive input and we have negative input. We have things that happen to us. They can be good, they can be bad. And when we get a lot of negative input, we have to channel that some way. And it could be in a positive way, it could be in a negative way. I mean, obviously, the negatives, you've got lifestyle choices that maybe are not the best. Like, people turn to not good things. Well, I don't need to say
yes.
them. However, you can take negative input and channel it in a positive way. So for me, learning something new, picking up a new hobby, investing myself into learning something, I'm taking all of that negative energy in and I am figuring out like I'm really investing. So in addition to being a mom, I'm also like having to do something for my own mental health. And I've had a lot of hobbies in my life, a lot. Um, and so I knew that my great-grandfather, my great-great-grandfather were both, Scandinavian master carvers. I knew that much. That's all that I knew, and so as I was trying to figure something out, I thought, "You know what? I can I need to do wood carving. We gotta keep wood carving in the bloodline, like,
Yeah.
if we had ancestors that were carvers, we gotta keep it going," and so, um, I started on Instagram, uh, seeing, like, different wood carving, and I followed art anyway, but I saw a couple of wood carving things, and one of them was Doug Linker's Hillbilly. I mean, a lot of us can say that, it goes back to Doug Linker.
Yes.
And I know that I messaged him because he had not put a video out yet. He had carved his hillbillies, uh, and he hadn't posted anything, and I probably messaged him, like, 20 times. I'm like, "Hey, are you gonna put a video out? Do you wanna share how you like, how do you just give me a hint, like, where to start?" Because my brain does not work in the sense that you take a square block and you make something not square out of that square block, like, I am not
Sure.
wired that way.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure it was my bombarding messages that got him. Probably not, but we'll say it. Anyway, so he posted on YouTube, I think, his How to Carve a Hillbilly. I tell you, I watched it at least 100 times. I took notes, like, I drew in a book. I don't know where that book I probably should have I drew step by step, like, where you're supposed to take cuts, where you're doing this, where you're doing that,
Yeah.
before I made one cut in a piece of wood. It was just not. So, that's really where it started, and then it snowballed very quickly from there. So,
Oh, that's
that's
amazing. Yeah, I will say that Linker's hillbilly video is my favorite.
yeah,
Um,
it's very user friendly. It's like he
yeah.
makes it attainable, right? Like,
Yes.
had I watched Chris Hammack or Ryan Olson carving something, I would have been like, "That's a very nice hobby. I'm gonna go
Yeah.
doodle, right? I'm
See
gonna
you
go draw
later.
my stick figures." Doug Linker just for me, when I saw it, then I was like, I could maybe do that, maybe. So,
Yeah, he's I've said it in many episodes, but he's absolutely a legend in the game in wood carving. He's responsible for thousands of carvers, and he's inspired me a great deal on two fronts. The carving aspect of it and the podcast aspect of it,
okay, yeah.
because he had his podcast with Alec Lacasse, and so I kind of got a little bit of a double influence from him. But that hillbilly carving, that inspired many carvings for me. I mean, especially like this guy. I mean, I've branched off and used that basic hillbilly carving and really made it my own and made dozens and dozens of those types of characters. But
I will say, and I hope he doesn't get mad at me for this. He traded a piece with me, like,
no
many years
way.
ago. He's
Oh,
like,
that's so
I don't
awesome.
normally do this," and I was like, "Yes, but
Wow.
it please." Anyway, so I have a little Doug Linker piece, like, it's
Oh, that is
yeah,
so cool. Yeah.
I
Oh,
was pretty
that's
excited about that.
amazing.
Don't tell Doug I told the world.
Well, hopefully he hears this and will know.
It's alright, he likes me, right? Like, no, we're good.
Yeah. I think I've heard him mention your name before, um,
Aw,
on one of his things, but yeah, no, he's, yeah, we love Doug in the wood carving community. There's not enough praise for him. I'm sure there's
no,
plenty of praise for him, but
yeah,
he's
he's a good
he's
guy.
well he's well deserving of all the praise.
Yep,
Um,
agreed.
but yeah, back to your story. I mean, I know it started off a little bit rough and sad, but at least something positive came out from it, and a real skill
Yeah.
set too, an artistic skill set that
No,
you've
I'm
now,
absolutely grateful. Totally grateful. Like,
yeah,
I don't know, like, how can I certainly didn't expect my life to go in this direction. It was not what I had intended. Nobody wants that. But
yeah,
I mean, I've got an amazing kiddo and an amazing hobby outlet art platform. Like, I'm certainly not upset. So
yeah.
I'm
And that's
good.
the important thing, is that your kid is happy and you're happy,
Yep.
and hopefully your ex-partner's happy and everyone can
More power
live
to
their
them. I'm
life.
like, yeah, we all just,
Yeah,
oh, the world's big enough. Like, we all just need to have our own corner and be happy. So
that's it. Yeah. No room for fighting and arguing, and just make art, I guess. Carve a little
make
gnome
art.
and feel better about
That's
yourself.
right.
Yeah. And you got a skill, you can carve yourself a new husband. A little,
Absolutely, and that would be the
yeah,
perfect way. They don't talk. I don't have to clean up after, well, I gotta clean up the shavings, but
the
I don't have to
shavings,
cook a
yeah.
dinner.
Yeah.
That's right.
But when you start talking to it, then maybe there's a little bit of a problem. But
Don't tell people I
yeah,
do
no,
that.
I got all my friends down here that I talk to.
That's right. All my
Um,
friends are right here.
no, that's really cool. Um, Now I know you didn't just become a wood carver, you actually wrote a few wood carving books. How did that kind of come into play?
Completely unexpectedly and random. So I don't gosh, it's been now like 9 years, and so some of the details are a little fuzzy.
Hmm.
I had started carving earlier in 2017. I think, like, May or June, I think, April-ish, and, I when I would carve, my daughter would be at some visits, supervised visits, and so I would be in the car because I wasn't about to leave the premises.
Yeah.
Um, and so my goal was that anything I carved, I wanted it to be cute for her, right? So, like, when she came
Mhm.
back, if I had this cute little thing, it would be something that she thought was cute. And after it was a few months, I guess we would have been in, like, September, I carved these little penguins, little simple penguins that have little hats, and I posted them, and someone was like, "You need to send these to Woodcarving Illustrated." I didn't even know what that was. I was completely unaware that there was a magazine. I mean,
Mhm.
I hadn't done a deep dive into the world of wood carving. I just was making some chips. And so I did. This person gave me the email address. And so I took some pictures, I sent it to Woodcarving Illustrated, and I think my email was something like, "I have no idea who I'm sending this to or why I'm sending it, but someone told me that I should send these to you. So here you go."
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. Um, and a couple months later, November maybe? I don't know. I'm fuzzy on the details, but I got a response that was like, "These are really cool. We'd love to put them in the magazine, and here's how that works." And I was like, "Okay." So I did the penguins, and then I wanna say several months after that, a few months after that, they contacted me again, and they said, "We have an idea. It's not a book, but it's not a one-off magazine article. Like, would you like to just you could do, like, 4 or 5, um, and it's the weekend." No, it's the crap, I don't even remember what it's called, but there's, like, a bear, a snail, a little gnome,
Mhm.
and maybe something else, and so it was like a booklet. It was just a short little, like, excerpt. So not a book, not a single magazine, but, a few projects, and they just and I was like, "Yeah, sounds great." Um, and again, like, after that, it was several months later, and so it was a process of, like, 4 years that they'd be like, "Hey, do you wanna do this?" And in between, I was doing little magazine articles, like, one-offs here and there, and, um, it really like I said, when I say it snowballed, it was unexpected. Um, I hadn't gone really looking for it. It kind of found me, and it found me at a really, uh, crucial time, I think, because it was giving me kind of purpose. Not that being a mom wasn't purpose, but there's 2 different realms of purpose, right? Like, yes, my
Yeah.
child needs me, but, like,
You're
that's
still
not
your own
all of
person
who I
too.
am is
Yeah.
and so it was, it was a journey, and it was an adventure, and I was learning all kinds of things because I again, like, this was all new. Everything that I carved for the books, I carved it one time, and it was
Hmm.
for the book. I didn't do, like, mock-ups of it, I didn't do trial runs, I didn't make clay figures and models, like, I truly carved one, uh, and that was the project. The only one was a whale. I did a narwhal. I think
Mhm.
it wa anyway. Um, so I had finished the way that it works, like, you do all of the pictures and the write-up, and you get everything done that they want you to have done, and you send it to the editor, and then they go through it, and then they message you back with, like, "Okay, but can you do this, and can you do this?" And I always just prayed that they're like, "Oh, that's really good." But on the narwhal, they sent it back, and they're like, "Well, you have to retake this picture
Mhm.
because you can't use a V tool." I was like, "What?" Well, they're like, "Well, it's knife only." And I said,
Uh,
but you have to use a bandsaw to cut it out. That kind of completely negates
defeats the
a
purpose, yeah.
one-tool project." Like, it also had a wheelie in there, so you have to use a drill to make the holes for the wheels, and so I was
Yeah.
I was super confused, like, I don't the a V tool? Anyway, so that was the
Yeah.
only project where I had to kind of recarve it, and I don't think I even finished it. I carved it up until the point that they
To the
wanted the
V.
picture so that I could match it, and then, I don't know, it's probably still sitting in a tote over there at the same spot, but yeah, it
Yeah.
was a lot of fun. A lot
That's
it's very
interesting.
frustrating, like, don't get me wrong, like, the books, they are rough. They are a lot of work
I've
and a lot of
Yeah.
time, and, I mean, there's a lot of back and forth and decisions and, um, so but still,
Yeah,
they are fun.
I spoke to David Young, who has a book Whittling on the Go. We recorded a past episode. He told me the same thing. It was very rough, a rough process of creating a book. And I also spoke with Alec Lacasse, and he wrote his book, Carving Faces in Wood.
Mhm.
And he said it was like just 6 to 8 months of his life he was just not doing anything. He said it
Yeah,
was very
and
intense.
it's extremely intense, and you don't have, like, full creative, like, leeway, right? Like, you can't just do
Yeah,
what you want because you also have to follow some pretty strict guidelines,
yeah.
and, like, they want this many steps per project, and they want this many so it's very
Certain types of
structured, and it's
pictures. Yeah,
yes. So, you end up taking, like like 80 to 100 pictures of one project, and then you have to go back through, and if they want it in 13 steps, you have to go weed through 80 pictures to get what you
yeah.
feel are the best, 13. Like,
Thorough steps. Yeah, that's
yeah,
rough.
it's
I mean,
a lot,
yeah, I wouldn't want to do it. And you did it, what, 3 times? I think you have
something
three
like that,
books. Yeah,
something
that's
like that.
wild. That is crazy to me. But
Yeah,
no, I mean, those books are great. I have one of them somewhere. It's in a bin, tote bin in the basement with all my other books. But yeah, it was a great book, and
thank you.
I've always see them pop up on Amazon. So when you look for whittling or wood carving,
That's awesome. I think
yeah,
I one time I think I put my name in there just to see what the reviews were.
hmm
And that was the one and only time I ever went to read reviews. I thought, "I don't need nope,
you don't
I'm not
want to,
doing that.
yeah,
I don't wanna
yeah.
know what people think."
I have the one with the ladybug wheelie on it,
Yeah, I
the
like that one. That
cover.
one is my favorite.
Yeah, I don't know the name of it, but that's the one I have. And yeah, no, that's really cool. And it's an extension of the hobby as well, like creating the books, and like for me creating this podcast, it's still within the realm of wood carving, is just an extra additional aspect to it, which definitely has its challenges. Writing a book has its challenges. Recording a podcast has its challenges, as you know, since
Yeah, yeah,
the audience doesn't, but we had severe technical issues before we started. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's just how it goes. And then, yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of your work in Woodcarving Illustrated as well. And the one thing that most, I guess, sort of recognized you for was the golf balls.
yeah,
Um, and I did speak with Dan Gallagher, who's a golf ball carver, and
yeah.
he gifted me a few cut open golf balls. How did you get into carving golf balls?
How did I get into carving golf balls?
Because that's such a
Uh,
unique thing to
n
want to carve. It's also kind of frustrating carving a golf ball for
it
me, because
is.
I carved one.
It is because the material is forgiving, right? In wood, the
Yeah,
material is not forgiving. You make a cut mark, you see that cut mark.
yeah.
Um,
You don't see it in the golf ball.
when you make a cut in a golf ball, it kind of self-heals, and so you really
Hmm
have to know where you made that cut because it does just kind of close up on itself. Um, so I worked for a company, and this was years before I started carving. Um, and one of the guys that I worked with was at a client's house, I guess, and he was given a golf ball that was carved. I think it was hideous. Like, I remember it being like, we're talking now like 15, 18 years ago. I barely remember last week, so trying to remember that far back, is a little bit rough, but I just remember that the inside was carved, and I I was like, "Well, let's carve a golf ball," and my neighbor is an avid golfer, and I thought, "Oh, you know what? I'm gonna carve a golf ball for him," and it was hideous.
Yeah.
The first one was hideous. I think I tried to do something of a realistic face, and I am not a fan of, like, there's a place for everything. I am the cartoon cute, like, if you can take something and make it as cute as possible, you know, true caricature cartoon
Mm,
caricature. And
yeah, your
so
work
from
is
there, I think
very bubbly.
it
Yeah.
it comes with, I think, being female and having a daughter, um,
Yeah.
who is very into cartoons. And so,
So is mine. I got
I
a
mean,
where is it up there? Bingo.
yes, love it.
Big fan of Bluey. Big fan of Bluey in this house.
Love Bluey. I still need to paint. Hang on,
Me too.
I got Muffin
I
right
know
here
the
that
grannies. Yeah, I've been following those on your
I gotta get
Instagram.
that painted. I've been
Yeah.
I got a little distracted with the art drops, but I gotta get back into the carving because I've got this whole pile over here of unpainted projects. But
Yeah.
sorry, golf balls. I knew that he had one, and I thought, I wonder how hard it is to carve a golf ball. And that's I probably could have Googled smart ways to open a golf ball. Um, I
Yeah.
I may have suffered a few stab wounds from a screwdriver, um,
Ouch. Yeah.
but it's okay. It's what is
Yeah.
life
You
without a
hear
few.
what's a few stitches?
That's right.
Yeah. No, I was very fortunate that Dan sent me a few cut open golf balls because I'm sure I
Well,
could cut some open myself, but to get started, it was nice having them open.
I did have like several people. I made one video of like, and I think it was one of the first times I actually showed my face in a reel on Instagram.
Mm,
And I was like holding some golf balls and I was like, "Hey, ever wonder how to cut a golf ball open?" That video has like 1.5 million views. Do
wow.
people have nothing better to do than watch how to cut open a golf ball?
You know what?
Anyway,
It's weird. That's why. So people tune in just for
and
that.
it was, and I think also because I am a woman, female, like they're like, "What is she doing?" Anyway, with that said, when you post a video that garners attention, everybody has an opinion, and so I still get many, um,
Hmm.
messages about, "You need to have PPE, you need to do this, you need to why aren't you
Yes. Yeah.
wearing this and this safety?" And it that's I appreciate everybody looking out for my well-being, that's very, very kind. Thank you. But some people have said, like, soak them in hot, like, boiling water or, like, apply heat or put, like, heat to
Hmm.
kind of melt the glue. I haven't tried it yet, but, maybe my next
Those are
round of
some
golf
good
balls.
helpful
Yeah,
tips.
absolutely. Loosening up the glue, and I think it would probably work better on some newer balls. I think the older
Hmm.
golf balls, that glue is pretty hard and crusty and set, and if
Yeah.
you can get a screwdriver into them, they will pop off nice, but I do think that
Interesting.
using, like, hot boiling water or a heat gun, not a
Sounds like
bad
a
idea.
good idea. Now, because you mentioned this, I'm gonna ask you, because you're a woman in a predominantly male oriented field, and one of the reasons I'm asking this is because I posted a video recently with Blake Lunsford, and he said how the wood carving community is the best community there is, bar none. Very bold statement, and I
It
agree with
was.
him.
I
I
did.
think
I saw that comment.
yeah, I'm not going to mention a name, but she's a woman carver with a pretty big following as well, and she said how it is not the friendliest, or it she did not agree with that. So I'm just kind of curious because I mean, obviously, I'm not a woman in the wood carving world. I don't have a huge, massive following like some of you guys. Have you experienced things like that? I mean, imagine you would.
Um.
Um,
oh well. So there.
yeah.
Okay. You're. I feel like in anything, right? Like really in any avenue, in any like I don't know, like in any whether it's like the political circle or the religious circle or the community circle, like the majority of it can be very positive. Like, yes, there are amazing, amazing people that, yes, there will also be some not so friendly. And I don't, I mean, I have had in 9 years of carving only one majorly negative kind of a situation that really got blown out of proportion, and it still sits with me today. Like, I'm sure someone would be like, "You gotta let it go, you've gotta move on." It was pretty, like, for me, it was big, and I even stepped back out of the carving community for a little while. Um,
Oh wow.
I just really kind like, it hurt my feelings, this what happened, and we don't need to those that are listening to this that knew what happened, like, I really got thrown under the bus in a certain circumstance, and it took quite some time for me to kinda lick my wounds and come back from that. Um, I do think that there is, like, um it's not as easy for women in wood carving. I mean, there's definitely some if you just look at, like, uh, physiolo physiological differences between men and women, like, your guys' hands are a lot bigger than ours. Your general strength of hands, much more than a female, like, just physiologically, like, you guys are built different. I
Yeah.
remember when I first started carving, like, I was making sawdust for chips, and my hands hurt so bad, like, they felt like hamburger, and I thought because I was watching Doug Linker make these huge chips. I was making
Oh,
sawdust, and I thought, "I don't know how to do this." Like, so there are definitely some differences. Um, I do think that there are sometimes also where, like, you get into your groups of, like, you know, guys have their it's their guy time, and
hmm.
there are some times where it's felt a little it's hard to, like, be confident enough that I can go hang with the guys. I don't know if that makes sense, but
I get
ye
it.
but I don't have anything bad to say, like, I think it's just the natural order of but as a whole, the
Yeah,
wood carving community is phenomenal.
it is. Yeah, and it's funny because when I read that comment, um, I was a little. I don't want to say taken back. I'm not surprised that there's negativity because it is the internet. I
Yeah.
understand that women in any realm of the internet probably see a lot of horrific things or have been told a lot of horrific things. But I just didn't think in like an artistic community that would be extreme, I guess. I mean, and I don't know what was said to this person or what has been said to you or anything else. I can only imagine, and I'm assuming it's probably a lot worse or I don't know. I could be blowing it way out of proportion. I could be under, you know.
Well,
So I just never crossed my mind, I guess, because I came from a professionally an artistic background. I worked in the art world, the picture framing world, and talent was talent. It didn't matter woman, man, older guy, ethnicity. There was all walks of life um, that were extremely, extremely talented. And the the place that I worked, there was two women in particular. One of them was a restoration artist. She restored antiques, furniture. She did gilding, finishing, all that stuff. And she is phenomenal. Like, I can't say enough about her work. She is through the roof talented. And then there's another woman who also did the same thing, furniture restoration, but she also did art restoration as well. And she was a phenomenal artist. And I just I can't see like looking at that and just criticizing based on their gender, I guess, you know? And
Yeah.
I don't, not to turn this into a whole like political gender thing, but you
No,
know,
no. Well,
I just never saw it, I guess, because to me, talent was talent.
but I think a lot
Um,
of times that one major kind of issue, and I think this is across the board, not just in art, not just like when it's online, it's like a free for all. And
mhm.
people will say things, they will make not say they don't say them, they write them behind, the protection of their screen. And
And
so
also fake names.
yes, you can be anonymous and you can pretty much say whatever you want to. And people will say things online that they would never say in person. Ever.
Yeah.
No, you would not. And that's kind of like the situation that happened with me. Like, would y'all have said those things if I was in the room? But I think we get behind the screen and kind of forget the human aspect. And I think that is true
Hmm.
with anything. And it a lot of times, like, when you see someone online and they're really good at something or their art is phenomenal, we immediately self-judge, and we're like, "Well,
Yeah.
why am I not that good?" And so in order to make me feel better about myself, I'm gonna write something that has nothing to do with
Yeah. And
their
belittle
art.
you for whatever reason. Yeah.
I mean, when I started doing the voiceovers on my reels where I was, like, narrating them, I had out the wazoo people telling me how horrible my voice was and that my voice didn't match my face and my voice is boring and, like, I was like, "What?" So, it's
Now,
so hard because, like,
do you
what does
think
that have
those
to do with my
comments
art?
are do you think those comments are coming from artists, or they're just people who happen to be, because you know these videos that tend to take off and get tons and tons of views, they're not being seen by the core audience of
Right,
carvers or artists. They're getting
right,
tossed to the masses, where there'll be just some random person who may be somewhat interested in art.
yeah.
Do you think it's a lot of those people, or do you think it's a lot of the core audience?
I wouldn't say that it's the core audience. I would say that it's, trolls, definitely trolls. But regardless of who it is, Joe Schmo tells you that you have a boring
It's gonna
voice and
hurt.
that your voice doesn't match your
Yeah.
face. You're like, "What?" Like,
Yeah,
I
that's
and
gonna
so
sting a little bit. Yeah.
I don't I'm trying to think of who told me, like, you read the comment, you you can process it. Read the comment, delete the comment, block the person. Because that
Blake.
that is truly, like, it just it's gonna happen, but I don't
Yeah.
know. I
Blake
So that
told
is one
me,
thing, like,
yeah, Blake told me that's the way to go. He said it's gonna happen. There'll be comments, there'll be negatives. Read it, block it, forget about it.
and
Is what
move on,
he
like,
and move on. Yeah.
those people just aren't worth and that has been one thing I've really had to kind of because I take everything personally. It just is who I am,
It's
like, I take it
it's
personal.
hard not to. You're putting yourself personally out there. You're personally showing your artwork, which is
Yeah,
personal, and to have someone come in and rip you to shreds
yeah,
um, is a little bit difficult. It's funny because, I mean, not that I'm inviting it, I haven't really experienced much negativity. Um, I have posted a few things on Reddit over the years that has been ripped to shreds a few times. Um, I kind of just found it funny more than anything, and I had my way with it. But again, it wasn't me out there. It was just a piece of my art. So
yeah.
I could easily separate that. Um, yeah, I don't know how I would react if I was more personally directed at myself, but
I don't
who
know,
knows?
I
I'd
think
like to think I'd let it roll off my shoulder, but probably not.
I've gotten much better at it, like, I'll read something and I'll be like, "Oh, no, you didn't just say that," and I type out a response and I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna delete that and I'm gonna block the person and I'll delete the comment," like, I do, I still get worked
It's
up, but it doesn't stay with me as long as it used to, like, now I'm just like,
yeah.
I have more followers
It's
than
it's
you.
funny because that's a nice way. It's funny because I recorded an episode with Alec Lacasse, right? And great guy, a really great dude. And he told me he's a big following, and
Yeah.
he told me he had the rare opportunity to meet two of his biggest online trolls in
Oh,
person, which was pretty interesting to happen because that doesn't usually happen. And it, he said it was a little strange because they obviously weren't going to be who they were online in person. Um, and he didn't get into too much detail, but he ended up saying how like they talked to him about their kind of personal life a little bit, and he ended up kind of understanding a little bit where they were coming at.
yeah.
So it's interesting.
I mean, social media in general is interesting, I don't know, it just people there are some people that are just genuine, and I think a lot of the wood carving and really artist communities, like, artists are just genuine people, right? I am not much different in my day-to-day life from what you see on, whatever I post, I'm pretty close to what I am. But I think a lot of people just morph into someone that either they wish they were or, like, I don't know, like, I don't know where these kind of
I
fake
I think a lot of it
personas come from.
they're chasing something. They're chasing the views and the likes and
Yeah,
the attention. So I think they're trying to mold themselves into what they believe their audience wants to see.
yeah, that's
And
a good point.
and I think I can understand it to some degree because if this is your livelihood and your means of feeding your family or something, I get wanting to chase that, but then who are you? I guess you're kind of fake at that
Yeah,
point. And are you really who you like? Did you turn into that person, that character that you created? Is that you now, or is that still like a persona, or what? It's kind of. I feel like it's very easy for these people to get lost in who they are
yeah.
based on that.
And it's interesting, like, you because then you wonder, are you really the mean person? Like, if you have the ability to say those things, is that who you are? And then you're putting on a front of being nice to people, but if you're always saying, like, unkind things in your head or you're always being critical, is that who you really are? And I'm not really seeing so, I don't know, yeah,
I think a lot of the hate ends
also
up coming mostly out of jealousy, or I think some of these online creators who I'll target specifically wood carving because that's what we know. But the guys who make tutorial videos, the bigger name guys.
Mhm.
I'm sure they get a lot of hate comments and hurtful comments. In fact, I know they do. I've spoken to some of them, and they get some pretty hurtful things thrown at them. And I think it's mainly because there's someone who's watching them who it could go two ways. They're either not as talented in their carving ability as the person on screen, or they're more talented than the person on screen, and they're saying, well, why does that person deserve the attention and I can only get 2 likes on my post? And
Yeah,
they're getting thousands of views based on a what they deem as a bad project, a not carved well, or whatever the case is. So I could see the hate coming from that, and I can see the hate coming from why am I not that good?
yeah.
So it's easier for them to just like throw out like, well, you suck, or you're this or you're that, because they have their own insecurities about their own work and their own self. And it was Blake Lunsford. I'm quoting Blake a lot in this episode, but he mentioned it's always going to come from people who aren't putting the effort in that you're putting in. And he's like, most likely they never will put that effort in.
Yeah.
Like in doing the work, in creating a show, in creating tutorial videos, and editing for hours and hours on end, and uploading and posting and this and that and commenting. It's a lot of work and a lot of effort to do these
It
things,
is.
and there's really no gain in it. Um,
Yeah, I don't know, like, there is a lot of work that, you know, again, what you see on social media is the polished version of,
of course,
it's the final product, and
it's
I
the
think that,
iceberg effect.
yeah, we see the finished product, but we don't see the sacrifices that went into that, or how much time was spent, away from family, or um how many hours someone has put into carving to practice it, right? Like,
Yes.
and I think I'm probably like, I want to be able to do it now. Why can't I do it now? Why am I not that good right now? Like, I have very high expectations for myself, but I also put in a lot of time studying and practicing and researching, and things like that, where you see influencers or artists that have huge followings. um there is a lot that went into that, and I think some people that just think like it should just come, like right now, like why am I not getting it all right now? And
Yeah.
when we have phones that give us everything we want right now, and AI that
Yeah.
is, don't even get me, ugh, yay. Yeah.
I I caught a lot of flack when I started this podcast, from some people, because when I started, I I created my icon for the show using an AI image. Um, I'm not a graphic designer. I can draw. I don't have the skill set to create a logo, to create that. So when I first launched this podcast, I used AI because I needed a placeholder. And I'm fortunate enough that one of my best friends is a graphic designer and does that type of work. And he was actively working on a logo for me. But in order for me to launch the show and get everything up and running in the time frame that I wanted, I used an AI image. And I caught a lot of flack from it. And not that I owed anyone an explanation, but I was explaining, hey, look, it's just a placeholder. I have one in the works from someone who's actually an artist doing it.
Yeah.
But,
Well, I think
people
AI
had
has
their
its
things to
place,
say. Yeah,
but
it definitely does.
when you get onto Facebook and there are hundreds, it's like every other post is an AI generated wood carved image, like an actual
Yes.
wood carving, but it's AI. and it has thousands of reactions on it and
and
comments that are like, "This is
thousands of
amazing," and this I'm like,
followers. Yeah.
"Can you guys not tell that that's fake?" Like, it that's what bothers me is that it's, like, kind of taking over my Facebook of
Yes.
AI generated wood carvings that people can't I feel like if you're a wood carver, you can pretty much just tell immediately, like, that is not
Yeah.
an actual piece of wood.
There is one particular one. I see it on Instagram. Massive following, and it's only gnomes,
Yeah.
and it's all carved gnomes. It's either a really, really, really good AI, or the carving is actually real and the background is AI.
Hmm.
And I can't tell, but
Like, one carving and numberless backgrounds?
so it's weird because it's like a carving of a gnome, and it's on like there's something off about the image. I don't know
Yeah.
what it is, and it to me
Mhm.
it reads AI. But then I look at the carving and I'm like, I don't know if it's like enhanced or if it's real. And I'm trying to look for some of those telltale signs, like there's an extra limb or there's a
Yeah.
weird fold somewhere. And I don't see any of that stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna look for it. I'll send it to you, and you
'Kay.
can tell me what you think. But yeah, it's very weird. And like the posts are actually written out. Like they don't seem AI written, and the comments, everyone, this is amazing and that's
Yep.
amazing. And so I'm very, that one particular one
That's
is the
funny.
only one that I'm on the fence about.
Yeah, you'll have
I'm
to send
leaning
me.
I'm leaning towards AI, but yeah.
'Kay.
So crazy world we live in.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
legit.
Yeah, I feel like we derailed the conversation quite a bit.
Absolutely. We
Yeah,
covered a
this
lot
went
of
off.
stuff, though.
Yeah. You never know what you're gonna get here at the Modern
That's true.
Woodcarver. Um, yeah, no, I do have some more things I want to get back to asking you. So do you know who Cody Bonham is?
I've
Block and
heard the
Knife?
name. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Block and Knife.
yeah.
He's a big fan, and I told him that I was gonna interview you, and I asked him specifically. I said, "Hey, is there any questions you think I should ask
Gosh, I'm
Sarah?"
already flattered. 'Kay, I'm ready.
Yes, he he loves your painting style. He's followed your videos, I guess. So he wants to know a little bit more about your painting process and how you kind of go about painting.
Um, gosh.
And shout out to Cody. He was the very
Shout out
first
to Cody.
episode
Gosh.
of the
Okay.
podcast. Yeah.
My painting I don't know. I guess I don't even know how to answer that. I love the painting as much as I love the carving because it's when the carving comes to life. So this and I think sometimes I say things that might come across as very like I don't want them to sound mean or unkind because that's not how I am intending them. But also at 42 years old, like I also don't do a song and dance around saying things. Does that make sense? Like I kind of just say it, but my intent is not to be mean.
Hmm.
You can take a phenomenal carving. And if you paint it quickly, like you're painting the side of a barn, you've just derailed the carving. You can
That's me
take
most of the time.
a very you can take a very simple carving and do like a stellar paint job on it. Like when you've really taken your
Hmm.
time and your lines are clean and you're really focused on like maybe the shading or the details and things and you've taken a simple carving and made it a phenomenal carving. Does that make sense? Like
Yes, absolutely.
I
Yeah.
um and so I have spent a lot of time, um, looking at different illustrations, um, like children's books. Some of One of my favorite series is, it's done it's called The Art of, and it's of the Disney movies, like the Disney Pixar movies, and they release a book and it's
Hmm.
called The Art of, and then fill in whatever the movie title is. So
Yeah,
The Art
Frozen,
of
Moana.
Cars,
Yeah.
Frozen, like so they put these out after they do a movie, and I love looking at those because it shows the character development. It shows the early stages, like where they're doing the mock-ups in clay or digital, and then they build on it, and you can kind of see how they shade it and how they do the colors. And um, one thing, you can kind of see them. This box right here, it's like a color cube.
It's off
Um,
screen. Yeah, we can't
oh,
see it.
hold on. I gotta move. Hey, hold
Oh,
on.
cool. Yeah, there you go.
Okay. So in these color cubes, like what are they called? I don't even know what they're called actually.
It's like a giant Rubik's Cube.
The Color Cube by Sarah Renee Clark. Okay. And inside there are hundreds of these cards. And this is great for anybody that struggles with color,
Yeah, that's where
or
I struggle. What
like color
matches, what
complements.
goes. Yeah.
So inside they take like,
Oh, cool.
um,
That's what I need.
oh, it goes this way. So, like a picture of something in nature, and then it breaks down the colors that are in that picture, and you can see how they complement each other, right? So, these are all going to be kind of similar because I was looking for one particular thing when I was using these. But
Yeah.
literally all the spectrums, and there's actually two boxes of them with hundreds of cards. Or you can just go to
Wow.
Pinterest and pull up color swatches because that's a heck of a lot cheaper than ordering these.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then on the back, it even gives you like light to dark gradients, light to dark of these main colors. Um, so if I have something, I'm trying to think. I've used them on so many projects because if I just want an idea of like some colors that are going to complement each other, colors that kind of appear naturally in the world, like Um, this one is like undersea, and you can see all the different colors and how they interact with each other. So part of my painting process includes studying the colors. What is going to look good on it? What are colors that complement? Um, and then using the books to figure out how to shade things, where to put shading on different in different areas. I've talked about like think of painting, your painting process as like a mountain peak or a mountain range. So a
Hmm.
mountain range, you've got peaks and you've got valleys, and the sun hits the peaks, right? So these are your light areas. The taller areas are lighter areas, and where you have your valleys, those are going to be darker. So uh, I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Okay, sorry, I had this sitting here.
It's okay.
It's a
Oh,
shark.
that's cool.
Um, so like
That
even
is really cool.
on this rock, right? There's areas of the rock that are lower, and those are darker. And then I've done like a wash or a dry brush over the top of it so that it hits the high spots that are going to be lighter. And that will give your piece dimension. Um, I'm trying to think like,
Now, how long would something like that take you to paint?
um, I probably spent like 3 hours on the shark,
Just a
maybe two.
shark.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I will
that's
take as
wild.
much time as I possibly can.
So do
Um,
you think it takes you longer to paint it than it does to carve it?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
S it might be I mean, that shark had a lot of detail on it, so he took quite a long time, and the other thing is, like, I teach, and I have a 10-year-old, and so I don't sit down and carve for 3 hours straight. I don't do it.
Yeah,
I
it's
get
10 minutes, 20 minutes,
15,
yeah.
20 minutes here. I always have a bag that's got, like, a little tiny pencil box of knives and wood inside, so if I'm going somewhere where I have to wait, I'm going to carve, but I get no more than 30 minutes at a time. So something that might have taken me 4 hours solid probably took me 2 weeks to carve. So I really
Yes.
can't give like a very accurate how long did that take you to carve? I don't know because I finished it over a month.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm not turning stuff out hand over fist. I don't have that kind of time. Um, I will work on a project for months because that's the
Yeah,
season of
that's your
life
life's
that I'm
yeah.
in is what allows for that. Um, but I will take as much time as humanly possible to paint my piece because I want to make sure that I do for as much time as I put in carving it, I want to do justice with the paint. I grew up watching
Yeah.
my mom paint in the 80s and 90s. Like my mom she was like a phenomenal painter. Not
There you
on
go.
wood. She did like the canvas with the acrylics and the shading, and I think just I probably took a lot of that in subconsciously, as I picked the dry paint off the top of her bottles because that was a lot of fun. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, I mean, I absolutely hate painting. It's not
That's
it's
fair.
not my favorite. I I can do a good job at times when I'm really focused and I really like the pieces. Like the most recent things I did with these three guys, I've showed these before in other episodes, but
Yeah.
when I'm really into the carving, I
And
get
those look
really into the
great.
painting.
Yeah.
And I think they came out great. I also took my time to actually kind of do what you did with those color charts, look for complementary colors. I actually cheated. I used AI, even though we just bashed AI for like the
No, and
last
that's
20
do you know
minutes.
what though? That's like a total you could take a picture of that and you upload it to AI and say, "Put this in a cool color comp like make it
That's what
painted."
I that's what I did. I said, "Hey, this
Absolutely.
is this is a hobo. Like I want it to look worn out." And it spat out like five versions of it. And I
Yeah.
kind of just picked and choose what I liked and what I thought. And obviously I'm not going to have the same colors that they showed, and I just used what I had that matched up, and they
No,
came
I
out
think
great.
that's great. I do
But I
always like
don't.
I do water down. I water my paint down.
I started watering down very heavily also, because otherwise it looks plasticky.
It does. I don't
Yeah,
like full strength paint, but also it's a lot easier to add paint than it is to take it off. So if I've mixed some paint and I've watered it and then I apply it to my wood, I'm like, wow, that's really washed out. I can add more paint to that. If I've
and is
not watered it down, I go to paint, I'm like, "Ooh," then,
is there
I've
a
got to carve
particular
it off.
brand? Yeah, is there a
No,
particular brand of paint that you like? Like I use
the
Folk Art matte acrylic brand.
I do like the I have found, and it might be folk art. There's a difference between like the matte finish and the multi-surface. I don't like
Hmm.
multi-surface paint. Like that,
Okay.
I don't like that. But really, and I think I've explained this somewhere before. But if you've got um, apple barrel, folk art, and ceram coat, those are all manufactured in the same plant.
I've
They're
heard that.
all owned
Yeah.
by Plaid Craft. Um, Apple Barrel is going to have some more water in it. Ceram Coat, they'll use some finer pigments in it. It
Hmm.
the I
It's the same thing. Yeah.
It's the same thing. Like I just posted a picture. I think I bought like 24 bottles of $1 paint
I saw that. Yeah.
from Target, and I actually was using it today, and it works great. Like I've never used it before, but it's fine. I don't use specific types of brushes. I use whatever is cheap. Um, I don't even know the last time I bought new brushes. I try to take care of them. Wash your brushes. I think I posted a
Yeah.
video of like how to wash your brushes and then like to um if you wipe it on a bar of soap, it will help to keep the shape
Oh, the
of your
hairs.
brush. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I did notice there's a little mom and pop art store in my neighborhood that I go to, and I did buy a few higher end paintbrushes. I'm saying higher end. Maybe they were like $6 a brush or something, which is a lot. Um, but I did notice a pretty significant difference because I was using the cheapo set that came with the paint.
Yeah.
And the hairs were coming out and they would get stuck to my project and like,
Yes. I mean,
yeah. And then
there is a little bit of
once I made that switch, the painting process was a little bit more tolerable for me.
that's good.
Um, yeah, but still not my favorite.
You'll
But
get
yeah,
there. I have faith. You'll get
yeah,
there.
I will. Maybe I'm gonna look into that cube because that's a good idea. Because I struggle with you know, the color wheel and theory and whatever goes well
So
with one another.
if you go on Pinterest, like paint palette, uh, palette ideas, maybe. Hold on. No, painting color ideas. Hold on, because this is pretty good. Color, maybe inspiration. If you put in paint color ideas or swatches, it will give you pretty much the same kind of things, like not in the same way, but like would be
Oh,
like
I
for
see.
thanks or
Similar
like
breakdowns.
fall. Um, it'll give you different color palettes. Uh, I have a whole board designated to just paint colors. Um, the paint cubes, paint colors, they look the same, like they look like this on Pinterest, and it will give
Yeah,
you
that
all
makes
those things.
sense.
But
And
they're
it's for
super
free.
helpful, and it is free on Pinterest.
It's free. Yeah. Really cool. Now, lately you have been kind of blowing up in your area for what is it you're doing? You're creating art and you're placing it around your neighborhood for people
Yeah,
to find.
yeah. St. George. I mean,
And
St. George isn't huge, but
yeah. Now, how did that start? How did you, is it wood carvings or is it art in general? I mean, I think I saw one that was like a hand-drawn um piece of art.
so it just is so rad. Like I haven't done the same thing twice. The first one was just it was a literal slab of wood with like the live edge, and I painted a lizard slash dragon slash reptile. It wasn't
That's
anything in particular. It was like a
that's the
cartoonish
one I saw. Yeah.
reptile, and I painted on it, and it was pretty quick, like 45 minutes or less. Um, and I took it out. I was taking my daughter out to the skate park that they just opened, and I sat it out like on the perimeter, like out in the parking lot, and I took a picture where it was down in the corner, but you could see like the skate park in the background. Um, and I posted it on this Facebook page that St. George has. It's called St. George Word of Mouth, and there's like 70,000 people on that page. I'm not friends with them. They're just the people in St. George area, and I said, "Hey, I wanted to do an art drop. I have this original piece of art that I painted. Here's the picture. If you know where this is and you're the first to get there, it's yours." And I think in like 15 minutes, uh, this mom, so they posted in the comments, they're like, "Hey, we got it." Like three little girls, they were so excited. They're like, "We looked at your stuff and they love it. They're obsessed. And this was so much fun." And after that, even after someone posted that it was found, like there was just comment after comment after comment that was like, "This is amazing. Like, what is this?" And I was like, "What did I just start?" So I did it again like 2 days later. I put a whale, I think is a little small whale, but
I did
it's
see
not a
the whale
carving.
also.
It was I had a board of wood and I cut it out and then I painted on it. So I didn't carve anything. I cut it out, I painted it, and I put it out at a park and I watched within 15 minutes I put it on word of mouth. I was like, "Hey, art dropped. If you know where this is, come get it." And this mom
That's
and her
really
little
cool.
girl showed up, and it was this little girl's 8th birthday, and that made it even cooler, but, um,
Were you there when they came to
I
pick it
even
up?
recorded it, yeah. I recorded the mom jumping up and
Oh, that's
down, and the
sweet.
little girl was running around. It was great. It was just such a feel good, like, you know, they didn't know that I was there, but to watch their genuine reaction to finding something as simple as a small carved whale, and I put a note with it that's like, "Congratulations. If it made you smile, you can keep it, you can pass it along, whatever." And, yeah, so it was just an idea to kind of I mean, you see people do, like, the hidden painted rocks. You see people doing cash
Yeah.
drops, and I'm certainly not born into the bracket where I'm dropping cash because
Yeah,
I can't do
that's the
that.
one I'm familiar with, the cash drops, and I
Yeah.
was like, "There's no way they're putting, like, $1,000 in something and then walking away."
Yeah, no.
Like, I don't know.
But people
Like,
love
I'm from
art.
New Yeah, I'm from New York. There's a lot of scams going on, and I just, like, there's no way
Yeah,
that someone's putting money there and
I couldn't jump on that
yeah,
bandwagon, but so, like,
yeah.
people like to
No,
go out and they like the treasure hunt. They like the thrill of, like, going to find
it's
something, and am I gonna be the first one there, and what's it gonna be? Like, people
yeah.
like that,
It's
and
it's very whimsical, and I like that.
it makes you feel good. So, yeah,
Yeah, and I think your art your art style lends really well to that too, because like I said before, it's bubbly and it's happy and it's feel good type things that you're doing. And I'm not using bubbly as like a way to downgrade it because
no,
your
no, I'll
work
take it.
is you're very skilled. Yeah.
I want
It's
people to
cute and
smile if they
it's
see my stuff. Like, it should make you almost like that kid in you, like, that's the style that I
yeah.
enjoy. That's not for everybody, but it is definitely my style. So if it's something that like, "Oh my gosh, that's so cute." Yes, it is cute.
Yeah, and I do like that style very much. And like I said, we're a big Bluey fan in this house, and I love the grannies that you did and the bingo and Bluey, and I think it's just so cool. And like I showed
Thank
you, I
you.
have a bingo up
Yep.
there. Um, so yeah, it's fun. I do want to carve you know, one of them. I don't know which one. Kind of want to do
Uh,
unicorns,
go oh,
but
that's funny. Go
yeah,
with the so I've really been enjoying the flat-backed kind of so I make 'em magnets, and so it's not really
I
relief
saw.
carving, and
Yeah,
it's not carving in the round, but they're a lot of fun, and especially because you 'cause you're only making them like, the size of they've gotta be practical to be put on something magnetic, so yeah,
yeah.
I've really enjoyed kind of doing that, and I think lends itself very well to, the fun carving, like, things that are cute,
Yeah,
because if it's a magnet, you're obviously it's gonna be cute because 'cause you're putting it on your fridge or some metal toolbox
yeah.
or something, so
So I did something similar. Do I have one of them? I got like a half worked on one here, but um, I'm a huge Legend of Zelda fan, as you can tell. There's Zelda stuff everywhere. Um, so at the beginning of the year, one of my favorite Zelda. Are you familiar with
I am.
Zelda?
Ocarina of Time, it's my top favorite.
Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask is
Oh, that was a
my
good one.
introduction. That's my introduction to the Zelda franchise. So,
Okay.
because that's when it came out when I was a kid. And so beginning of the year, I started a series of carving. I wanted to carve every single mask from Majora's Mask. I think I got maybe four in before I gave up. I didn't give up.
What?
But here's one of them that it's the Goron mask.
Oh, nice.
But
What do you
I
mean
didn't
gave
finish
up?
it.
No giving up.
I didn't give up. I just started doing other things, and then you know you lose interest. There's 24 masks. I mean,
That is a lot.
it's a lot.
That's a
It's a
lot.
lot, and some of them are very difficult to carve. But I did like some of the main ones, and you know. But again, it's that flat style where like you're doing.
Stick a rare earth magnet in the back of them, and they're just like they're there. You always get to see them.
Yeah, well, my goal was to make the actual for anyone out there who's a fan of the game would know, but when you put the pause menu up to select the different masks, there's like a box around them, like I guess, it says masks and then there's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
the
yeah.
whole frame of it. So I actually wanted to make a frame that replicated that start menu with all the masks on it to hang on my wall so that like it looked like I opened up the pause menu and can select which mask I want.
That would be way fun.
Yeah, so I'll get there eventually. Like I
All
said, I
right.
have I have 3 or 4 finished ones, painted and everything. And then this was the one that I like halfway started and then didn't finish, but I'll
All
get
right, well,
there.
get back to that. I think that would be cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely will. All right. I think this went on pretty long. I don't know if there's anything you want to add or say or ask me, but
I know. I think what you're doing is great. I think
well,
anytime.
thank
So
you.
the thing is, like, even with like what Blake does with the International Association and what you're doing, like, it's. I think it's awesome just to kind of delve into where people have been, what's gotten them to where they're at, um, and then just realizing like I don't know, like this seems now that I'm gonna say it out loud, it seems so stupid, but like there is just a human behind all the accounts that you
Yeah.
see, right? Like I think we forget that. We get into the habit of doom scrolling and like we talked about earlier, like the comments, like I we forget that there's such a human aspect to everything that
Hmm.
we see. And I just really like when, like what you're doing with just talking to people and um kind of helping others, like maybe helping them get to where they want to go or giving them some more tools or, even if like we kind of just were shooting the breeze here, but like maybe there is something that, someone will hear that will either impact them or inspire them or motivate them to do more or to, reach out and talk to someone. Cause I think that, like, for me, I think Blake was one of the first people I talked to in the carving realm. Um, and I was extremely nervous
Yeah.
to reach out to anybody. And, going back to kind of what we were talking about as far as like, it doesn't have anything to do with being female, being male, but like the carving community as a whole is very good. And I think they are very willing to help. With that said, I think that, and maybe just speaking for myself, like you have to put in the hard work. Like, I will get a lot of messages that say, "How do you do this? How do you do this?" Like, "Well, what are you doing for this?" And I wanna say, "What have you tried?" Like, what have you
Hmm.
tried first before you go looking for the quick answer or, like, what my process is, like, the reason my process is what it is because I have put hundreds of hours into making that my process. So, when you're coming in, I know it's very easy to be like, "Well, how do you do that? Well, how do you do that?" Like, don't get frustrated if I say, "Well, what have you tried?" Like, have you done your homework and are you putting the effort in? Because that's really where you're going to develop your process. So it is absolutely vital to like take things from different artists, right? Like I really
Hmm.
like how Chris Hammock does this. I really like how Dave Stetson does this. And not copying their style, but taking their process and kind of figuring out how to make it your own process. Does that make sense? So I
Yeah.
think just like I don't feel qualified to like give advice or to like, this is but put the work in. Like, really,
Yeah.
and it's not like you sat down and tried for a couple of hours and you're just not getting it. Like, that's not the work. Like, you put in the blood, sweat, and
y-
tears, and when you go for help and you be
Absolutely.
like, "Hey, I tried all these things, I'm not quite getting it. Do you have any pointers? Like, do you have any
Hmm.
suggestions? Not tell me how to do this, but do you have any suggestions? Can you help me? Like, I've done all these things, I'm just not getting it.
Yeah.
What can you point me in a direction?" So, I think that goes a long way when you're, like, looking for help or advice from other people. It's like, "Look, I've tried all these things and I'm really just struggling. Can you give me any pointers?"
Yeah.
I hope that didn't make me sound
Yeah.
rude.
That's No, no, not at all. And you make a lot of sense. I mean, it's a very trial and error based thing that we're doing.
Yeah.
And it's very easy to get discouraged when you're
Yes.
creating art. You get frustrated, you don't know how to sharpen, you don't know how to handle your tools, you don't know how to read the grain, you don't know you're using the wrong type of wood, the lighting is bad. There's so many things that factor in that
Yeah.
people may not consider. And you really only ever learn about those things by actually doing it. And the hardest part in anything is actually just getting started and
Yeah.
doing it. At some point, you got to just say, "Hey, I'm gonna do it. It's gonna look like shit. I'm gonna just power through and get it done." And sometimes when you just knock it out, whether it's good or bad or looks great or like just getting that one under your belt, you can now kind of move past that a little bit.
Yeah.
And your mind is kind of like, okay, I tried it. That one sucks. On to the next one.
And that's important
And
where don't like, as you're doing something, finish the piece. Like, don't get
yes,
so frustrated, you're like, "Oh, I can't do it," and you put it down and you don't ever like, finish the piece.
yeah.
I think
Even if
there's
you come
there's a
back to that piece later on and finish
absolutely.
it.
I think there
Yeah.
was, do you know what? Which is funny. This guy,
Oh, cool.
this cutout, it's all one piece, and I think I cut it out. I sketched it on the wood and I cut it out in probably 2020.
Hmm.
And it sat on my table, and every time I looked at it, I was like, "I don't even know where to start." I see it in my head, and I have no clue where to start. I don't even know where to make the first cut. And it sat. I couple of times, like, I started rounding the trash can.
Hmm.
So 2020, I cut it out, and I carved it in 2025.
Yeah.
So it literally sat for 5 years. But I wanted to do it so badly because I thought it was hilarious. I saw it as a doodle or a sticker on something, but if you have the intent to start it and you do start it, you've made one cut on it, finish it. Make yourself finish it.
Yeah.
Maybe you sit it aside for 5 years. Okay.
Yeah. I'm I'm currently in the same boat. I don't know if you could see it, but right behind me here, mounted on my vise, is a bear.
Bear?
Yeah, I've seen, those like actual sculpted bears, and I've always wanted to carve a bear. And I actually started this guy several years ago, 3 years ago, and it just didn't look right. I was struggling with it, and I was talking to um another guest that I had on recently, and he carves bears. And being inspired by talking to all of you, I dug it out and I started working on
Excellent.
it today, actually. So
Brilliant.
hopefully in a couple of days, I mean, I'll probably finish it long before this episode comes out, but because, there's a little bit of a backlog.
Well,
But yeah.
keep it posted. I wanna see it, so,
Yes. And I am now like in the zone, like once you get
yep,
that in your head, I'm like, I'm finishing this
I'm
thing.
gonna do it. That's
So
right.
yeah.
Awesome.
And yeah, so I look forward to seeing how that comes out. But yeah, definitely finish your projects.
Finish the
It's a good
project, that's
mindset.
important.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Call it done and then you can move on and start
Exactly.
working on improving it and trying something new.
No, that's how you learn. So finish them. Just finish them.
Yeah.
Even if it looks like shite, just finish it.
All right. Well, I think that's gone on for a while. Sarah, I really appreciate you taking the time to come in on the show and do this. Um, like I said before, your work is absolutely amazing. I love what you're doing. I think the art drop's a really cool idea.
Thank you.
And, you know, I hope you don't experience too much negativity in the woodworking community. But
Nope. No, it really is good. Like, I certainly don't want that to, like, make anybody angry, but
no, I don't
just
think it
know, like,
will.
as a
Because
whole, I
the
love this
core
community.
the core audience of the wood carving community is amazing. I think really the negativity comes from the bystanders that are sort of not involved in the community.
Yeah, those
Like
that just stand on the
maybe they,
outskirts.
yeah, and they're not really a representation of what the community actually is. They're not really the ones engaging,
Yeah.
or maybe they're engaging and it's just all horrible. But yeah,
No, I mean,
no,
learn to take the criticism and then learn to delete and block. That's
move
that's
on.
how it works. Just read it,
Yeah,
delete it, block it.
no, very cool.
Awesome. Well,
Yeah,
thank you.
so thank you again for coming on. I really appreciate it. And where can everyone find your work if they want to follow along?
I mean, the clever carver.
Clever
That's
Carver.
just kind of funny. I mean, truly, I had nothing more clever than that. So it became the clever carver and it's stuck ever since. So
That's great. No, definitely. If you don't know who Sarah is, follow along. Her stuff is great. A lot of useful information. Buy a book.
buy a book. Very
Yeah.
good. Thank you.
And if you like this episode of the podcast, please make sure to like and subscribe. It helps the channel grow. If you can share it, that'd be great. Not necessary, but we'll see you in the next episode.